Ay, ay, ay.
Vanessa, get off my back. Vanessa, get off my back.
About 10 days ago, we carried out an intervention, and we are continuing with that intervention. And today, the Beatty is already clean, but we also need, together with the social, business, and commercial sectors, to make that change ourselves, which will greatly benefit Sosua and will also help tourism a lot. These are two extremely important interventions that will eliminate all the vices that those two places had, which were very negative examples for the nation.
All right, that was the video of the president of the Dominican Republic speaking on his stance on cleaning up Sosua. Right, that was his original speech, and I converted it so you great individuals can have the video in Spanish and English, just in case you can understand one more than the other. All right, and this gentleman left a comment yesterday that I found interesting. I want to make this clear, comma, the Dominican Republic does not depend on passport bros to keep their economy running. The Dominican Republic as a whole, yes, I agree. The entire country, Sosúa, Puerto Plata, Cabarete, Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, Santiago, and the list goes on. The entire country does not depend on quote unquote passport bros to go there and benefit their economy. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. But, comma, Sosúa does, right? And I was trying to explain to this individual that the word passport, bro, is really a new terminology, right? And let's be honest, a lot of the guys that were traveling to Sosúa, like myself, before this passport bro terminology came out, were not considered passport bros. We were considered travelers, people there on vacation. We were considered gringos. We were considered Americans. Then this passport bro word came out of nowhere, and that's what we were called. But 10 years ago, the guys that was going down there looking for wives and spouses and serious relationships and feminine women that were down there 10 to 15 years ago, what were we called? Because as I've said before, I married a Dominican. We were together for about 5 years, so she says. I don't know how long we were together because I never acted like I was married. But I married a Dominican in the Dominican Republic. We were married. She's in New York right now. So what was I then? Let's be honest. People, the first thing someone sees when they see someone is their physical attraction. That's what's going to get someone's attention, whether you're in a club, a lounge, a bar, the train station, the airplane, the airport, no matter where you're at, the first thing you see is their physical appearance. You don't know if they have a great personality, if y'all share the same religion, the same goals, the same work ethic. You don't know if she can cook, you don't know if she can clean. And truth be told, I really don't need a woman to cook and clean. I can do that myself. But a lot of you individuals, men and women, are using the word passport bro very loosely, as in it's a negative thing. I was married 5 years, so she says. Before the passport bro word came out, what was I then? I was a tourist. And I'm going to make another video on what's the difference between a tourist looking for a relationship and a passport bro looking for a relationship. We're too stuck on titles. And I hate when people use passport bro, passport bro, passport bro, passport bro, passport. Hey, How you doing? I need a favor. I need a favor. I know I'm sitting here hanging backwards like 50 Cent at the Super Bowl, but I need a favor. I'm not asking for money, donations, clicking a link, nothing like that. Do me one favor. Can you do that for me? It's free. I swear. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. You hit it. You hit it. You hit it. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Appreciate it. Hey, I appreciate you. Passport, bro. No, I am an American, born and raised, who love thick, voluptuous women. And I have found throughout my travels through Asia, Africa, Europe, South America, and America that the thickest, most voluptuous women that I've ever seen in my life, all in one place, are in South America. So that is why I go to South America, because I am attracted to them. We can work on the little things here and there. We can work on your personality. Hey, I don't have a great personality. We can work on your attitude, which I love a little bit of crazy. Hey, I'm a little bit of crazy sometimes. We can't be looking for perfect and imperfect people. So let's get back to this. Let's get back to this. The businesses, the restaurants, the clubs, the nightlife, the lounges, the casinos, the hotels, everything that exists in Sosúa thrives off of quote unquote passport, bro. But I'm going to use tourists. For this video, I'm going to use tourists. Literally everything in Sosúa thrives off of tourists. When I go to, and it's all over YouTube, I forgot the name. What's a little restaurant, little open restaurant that sits on a corner. It's on a street, and you can see the street, and they got a little bar in the middle. If you know, you know. When I go to these restaurants in Sosúa, I don't see Dominicans there eating. When I go to these clubs, these lounges, these casinos, let's be honest, men and women, the majority of the people there are not Dominicans. Yes, I went to, are there Dominicans that live in Sosúa? Yes. Are there Dominicans in Sosúa spending money? Yes. I'm not here to downgrade or downplay their physical existence. But if you go to these places, matter of fact, the barbershop, like people speaking English, the majority of the businesses are thriving because of travelers. So when people say, I want to make this clear, the Dominican Republic does not depend on passport board to keep the economy running. And I said, I want to make this clear. Sosúa specifically thrives on it. Businesses are losing money. You're taking away from families. Is that really something that someone wants to do? Okay, take away the tourism in Sosúa. And see if people start starving. People start moving, going other places. It is going to be a ripple effect. A ripple effect. A ripple negative effect. But this individual, he had a point with the country as a whole, but specifically Sosúa thrives on it. I can tell you one thing, the Dominican government certainly doesn't think so. Of course not. And what government in the world is going to say, hey, yep, ooh, this city would be great full of working women. This city would be great if tourists came there to have pay for play. This city would be great if we could take advantage of the system by having women on the street walking around, and when she sees a woman that she likes and he sees a woman that he likes, they make eye contact, exchange WhatsApp, contact each other later and hook up, have a good time, exchange money, then go back home. Outside of Amsterdam and maybe one or two other places, especially in Europe, where pay for play is legalized and people are paying taxes, no other country is really promoting pay for play. Although a lot of countries have a lot of paper play activities going on. But Sosua specifically thrives on paper play. And I was going to talk about this in another video, but it's no time better than now. Men, tourists, as I'll use, have ruined the Dominican Republic. You know, when I used to, I've said this before in another video or two, when I used to travel, no one knew where I was and where I was going. I didn't pull out a video. I didn't create YouTube shorts. Nobody knew where I was going. In my early days in the Dominican Republic, there's no video proof of it. In my early days in Panama and Costa Rica, there's no video proof of it. But, you know, I've been to Laos and Philippines, Manila, Quezon City specifically. There's no video proof of me being there. I'm going to repeat that again. There's no video proof of 5 to 7 countries that I've been to, and some of them being quote-unquote passport bowl destinations. There's no video proof of my existence there. And I'm going to tell you why the YouTubers mess this up. Because when you see something great, magnificent, voluptuous, tasty, sweet, and you tell people on YouTube how great this place is or this city is and this woman is, that is going to draw them there. That is going to boost tourism. And that is why, and I've said this, and I'll say this 100 times, in my early days, I never pulled out a video. I never pulled out an Insta360. I never pulled out a DJI. I never pulled out a GoPro and started pressing record. So a lot of these countries are respectfully full of tourism because of people similar to myself that are online broadcasting it, that are online showing it. And now it's the thing. Now everyone has a YouTube. Once someone gets on a plane, they want to pull out their camera. Matter of fact, they want to pull out their camera before they get on the plane. They want to pull out their camera when they wake up in the morning. But the Dominican Republic is tarnished. You know, now in the DR last, you know, I went to Punta Cana because I was trying to had to take care of some business regarding this psycho that I was dating. Y'all look at my playlist called The Narcissist to see what I went through. Abuse. Right. So I had to go to Punta Cana because I had some unfinished business, right? And then from Punta Cana, I took a taxi to Santiago, right? I had an Airbnb in Santiago, right? When I was in Santiago, I think I had my Tinder radius too far out. It happens, right? And maybe someone was in Santiago and they went to Santo Domingo. Neither here nor there. But I was talking to someone from Santo Domingo, right? And I would just chat, hey, let's go to dinner, let's do this, let's do that, let's meet, da 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 da. And she was like, how much you gonna give me? The entire Dominican Republic has kind of been ruined because when these Dominican women meet an American, a foreigner, or Westerner, most of the time they're going to ask them for money. And I seen another brother, I seen his YouTube, and he was talking about Santiago, right? And I'm going to be honest, I went to Santiago. I just went to Punta Cana to handle some business, but Santiago is my favorite city. Right, I did not meet no women in Santiago that asked me for money. Right, I'm gonna do a video on Santiago one day, But Santiago is my favorite city in the Dominican Republic. But I'm not going to. I can't convince a lot of y'all to go because I know that when people go to Sosúa, they're going for one thing. Men aren't going to Sosúa looking for their wife. So the when men that go to Sosúa for whatever they go to Sosúa for, and I'm not knocking it because I might do it too myself here and there, right? For men that are going to Sosúa looking for one specific thing, they're not trying to go to Santiago. They're not trying to go out on dates, take her to the movies, spend time with them, go to the little castle or whatever they got in Santiago, walk around, get to know what men aren't really. A lot of the men that go to Sosúa aren't looking for that. I was and I am. Because I was doing Sosúa a decade ago. So I'm not, yeah, I go and I'll probably go again next year. But it's the thrill, the excitement, I experienced that already. I just go because it's fun. I enjoy myself. I have a good time. It's like going to an amusement park. But I feel like the president, from a presidential standpoint, he doesn't want this negative publicity on Sosúa. He doesn't want to type Sosúa into TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram and see a bunch of pay for play. So I understand. Do I support it? I'm in a gray area. But I understand. But the Dominican Republic, if you take away the women in Sosúa that are working, quote unquote, on the street, it's just going to move them to the apps. What are you going to do? Block Tinder in the Dominican Republic? Block Bumble in the Dominican Republic? Block Instagram in the Dominican Republic? These women are going to find a way, and these men that are going, they're going to find a way to communicate and find what they're looking for. So the country as a whole, Delray 53, he's probably 53, probably 60, whatever. The country as a whole is not negatively impacted by passport rules, quote unquote, not being there, but Sosúa 100% will be. Those restaurants 100% will be. Those servers 100% will be. Those clubs 100% will be. Those casinos 100% will be. And you're going to drive people to poverty. And you're also going to drive people out. Do what Brazil did. Make it a couple years ago, several years ago. Make it hard for tourists to come. Ask for finance reports. Ask for copies of bank statements. Ask for flights leaving. Ask for flights coming. Ask for 100,000 documents for people to go to the Dominican Republic and see if your tourism drops. And see and watch how your economy fails. Especially in Sosúa. And I love the Dominican Republic. It's my favorite country in the whole wide world. But just pay attention to the news and travel accordingly. Until next time.